Good afternoon, Jets Nation. Welcome to the Jew Jets Show, and today we're going over the top 5 New York Jets poised for breakout seasons in 2023. So without any hesitation, let's get it started. So coming in at the 5 spot, we have Jermaine Sherwood, and I'm putting Sherwood here assuming the New York Jets don't re-sign Kwon Alexander. Personally, I don't think Kwon's going to be back in 2023 because it seems like the New York Jets want to go with a younger linebacking group. Players that they have homegrown, and Jermaine Sherwood is definitely one of those players. He was one of our 5th round picks in the 2021 NFL draft, and we actually changed his position from safety to linebacker. So he's really been learning the position of linebacker for the past 3 years and really just developing. 2021 didn't really get to develop a whole lot because he did tear his Achilles, but he was back in 2022. Primarily in a special teams role. He did get a little bit of playing time, and in that little bit of playing time, one of his performances that stood out to me was his Week 9 performance against the Buffalo Bills. He played 9 snaps due to a CJ Mosley injury, and in those 9 snaps, he had 5 tackles and half a sack against the Buffalo Bills. It wasn't against some scrub team, and he didn't do this towards the end of the game either. I mean, that game was very close, so it wouldn't have been in garbage time anyway, but this dude did this in the second quarter. Middle of the game, where everything's going on. Came in, had 5 sacks, half a sack, and then dipped. He also had a great preseason in 2022 as well. And the New York Jets have a great linebacker developing staff as well. Along with our linebacking coach, we have Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbrich, who are 2 former linebacking coaches themselves. And they did a very good job on Quincy Williams. They continue to keep CJ Mosley playing at a great level, even after a 2-year hiatus from the game. And hopefully they can continue to do it with Jermaine Sherwood and develop him into a pretty good linebacker. So I do feel like the New York Jets aren't going to resign Kwon Alexander, give the keys to Jermaine Sherwood, and see how well he can drive the role. At the 4th spot, I have Tony Adams, and I do believe he's going to be our starting free safety in 2023. I know he signed Adrian Amos, but he's essentially going to be Chuck Clark's replacement. And Adrian Amos, does have experience at free safety, but he primarily has played strong safety throughout the entirety of his NFL career. And the way the New York Jets use their safeties is they have one primarily playing at the box around the line of scrimmage and one that plays deep pretty much every snap of the game. And we don't want Adrian Amos, primarily a strong safety, to be playing deep for every part of the game. That's why we have Tony Adams, a more coverage-centered player, someone that's not used to playing around the line of scrimmage. And in that role, whenever he filled in for LaMarcus Joyner last year, he didn't play bad. I really like what we saw from Tony Adams. Of course, it was a small sample size, but if he can continue to develop, pick off where he left off in 2022, in 2023, I think we have ourselves a nice player in Tony Adams, someone that can definitely enter the scene and a name that everyone starts to hear more often. At the 3 spot, we have Jermaine Rucker, and Rucker was just such an interesting addition to the team last offseason because whenever we drafted a tight end in the 3rd round, you would have thought, we would have been ecstatic because in 2021, that would have been the best thing ever. But just a year later, it wasn't because the team already signed Tyler Conklin and CJ Uzomah to 3-year contracts. We all kind of thought Jeremy Rucker was an insurance pick, someone that, we could rely on to be the tight end of the future whenever we were done with Uzomah and Conklin. But now it seems like Jeremy Rucker is going to be more than an insurance piece, someone that could actually compete for the starting job his 2nd year in the NFL. Just because last year, we didn't see anything from Jeremy Rucker. He only played in 9 games, and he really didn't play much at all in those 9 games as well. He only finished last year with 1 catch for 8 yards on 2 targets. Jeremy Rucker pretty much did nothing for the New York Jets last year besides develop. But in Week 17, when he got his first NFL catch, the New York Jets also used him as a run blocker. And what we saw from him as a run blocker was very promising. And now in OTAs, the dude's been balling out. He was seen working out with George Kittle this offseason. It really seems like he was taking a next step to his game. And it really seems like he could compete for that starting job. And maybe by the end of the season, he's already going to win it. And he already has seemed to form a great relationship with our quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, as well. It's also worth noting that he was dealing with a nagging foot injury all throughout last season as well. So now that he's fully healthy and is really just emerging as his own player, we can really see Jeremy Rucker put up some great stats in 2023. And at the 2 and 1 spot, I have Michael Clements and Jermaine Johnson. Now, Clements is someone that we took in the 4th round of last year's NFL draft. He played edge rusher at A&M, was an edge rusher for the New York Jets his rookie year. He was good when it came to stopping the run, was also a pretty solid pass rusher. You know, he finished with 2.5 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, nothing too crazy, but in the New York Jets rotation of, edge rushers, that was, solid stats for a rookie. But this offseason, Michael Clements has gained 20 pounds. Last year, he was listed as 270 pounds. Now he's listed at 290. And the New York Jets plan to play him on the interior of the defensive line. And you know what that means? A lot more pass rushing opportunities for Michael Clements. This dude is going to be wrecking up the interior of defensive lines. The thought of having him and Quentin Williams playing next to each other is going to be a sight to see and just an absolute offensive line record. Michael Clements is going to eat on the interior of the defensive line and do a good job stopping the run on the edge. Really think we're going to see a much more expanded role from Clements in 2023, and he's definitely going to play a lot better. And at the 1 spot, we of course have Jermaine Johnson. And Johnson was someone that was widely considered as a top 10 player in last year's NFL draft, and somehow he fell to 26 when the New York Jets traded up to get him. I mean, Jermaine Johnson is a stud of a player, and his role with the team last year, really wasn't that big, because he was a rookie. The New York Jets, kind of wanted him to develop a bit more, and plus he was just stuck in our rotation. But now this year, he's going to be ahead of that rotation. He's not going to be stuck in it. He's going to get a much larger role to show off his pass rushing skills, something that he really didn't get to do last year. Along with him being a good run stopper, I really think we're going to see a pretty big year from Jermaine Johnson in 2023. And if you look at this dude's Twitter, it's nothing but tweets saying that he's going to break out. Anytime Pro Football Focus, NFL Network tweets out, who's your breakout player for 2023? Jermaine Johnson retweets it and says, me. He says, Maine, or he says, Jermaine Johnson. But this dude knows that he's going to have a breakout year. He's feeling himself, and that's the type of motivation he needs to have a breakout year in 2023. But those are my 5 players poised for breakout years on the New York Jets. Let me know what you think of the list down below. And I'm your host, Stuart, signing off for now. See you guys later. Peace.